I accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States of America.
Vice President Kamala Harris will be accepting the nomination from the Democratic Party for real tonight, officially, but this time for the presidency. Here to discuss this upcoming speech with me and more is Quentin Fulks. He is the Principal Deputy Campaign Manager for the Harris-Walz campaign. Quentin, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So we haven't seen Vice President Harris in public since Tuesday night. What has she been doing today as she prepares for the biggest speech of her political life?
She's been putting finishing touches on that speech and honestly relaxing with her friends and family before this moment, making sure that, all the final preparations are done. But she's enjoying today and she's super excited for tonight.
What is the number one thing that she wants to accomplish with this speech?
I think she's going to continue to introduce herself to the nation, but I think most importantly, this is about our future. And I think what she wants to get across is her vision for this country moving forward. And, contrast that to Donald Trump and the plans that he has for this country. So I would say definitely a forward-looking vision for the country.
Obviously, Governor Walz was the main attraction last night, and his speech was well received here in the arena. It brought the House down. But there has been this outpouring today for Gus Walz.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how the campaign has reacted to that, the fact that there has been so much support for this unscripted moment of tenderness between a son and his father.
Well, look, I think that Gus Walz and Governor Walz and the Walz family, they know who they are. And they really do embody the American family, the typical family that's out there. And I think that that authenticity comes through. And I think that that's how you would expect to see a family react on a stage like last night with Governor Walz, accepting the nomination for the vice presidency of the United States. And so we wholeheartedly embrace that. But that's who they've been from the moment Governor Walz joined the ticket. And so it was great to see that outpouring of support for the family today.
There have been dozens of speakers on that stage behind us over the past 3 days, more tonight. But one speaker we haven't seen is anyone who is Palestinian. And there are so many progressive groups who have been pushing for that. The United Auto Workers joined those groups today. They put out a statement saying that if we want the war in Gaza to end, we can't put our heads in the sand or ignore the voices of the Palestinian Americans in the Democratic Party. Why is the campaign, why is the DNC continuing to hold the line on this?
Look, I don't think that, we're holding a line or ignoring anybody. I think that Vice President Harris has been very clear on her position when it comes to this. And there have been several speakers throughout this convention that have been on stage talking about the need for the hostages to be released, talking about the need for a ceasefire, talking about the need to end the reckless and dangerous, killing of civilians. And I think that those views have been represented throughout this. And so we're going to continue to do that. The vice president is going to continue to listen to these voters. We're not shutting anybody out, but we understand both sides of this. And this is something that both she and President Biden are working tirelessly to bring to a close. And I think she's been very clear on that.
But if you have so many groups saying, we just want to be able to hear from a Palestinian American, why not say, okay, why not give that person 3 minutes to represent their community?
Well, look, I think, again, the issue that these voters want to hear and that these people are addressing that they want to hear has been talked about from a number of speakers on stage. And we've also hosted panels. The DNC has hosted panels for both the Jewish community, the Muslim American community. And we have also made a spot available to host visuals for the victims lost. And so I think that it is being represented throughout this convention.
Often after a big convention speech, the presidential nominee hits the road to kind of take advantage of the momentum that they have coming out of a convention. The vice president is heading back to Washington, D.C. For a couple of days with her family. Why did you make that decision not to send her out, for example, to barnstorm a bunch of battleground states this weekend?
Well, look, I think she's just going to have a day or so, but I think you should stay tuned for some other plans that are coming. But I think we'll be out there very soon.
Well, that's very intriguing. You can't just tease us with that and not tell us more.
Nothing to share now, but I can assure you that the vice president is going to be out on the road very soon.
The vice president is not only accepting her party's nomination tonight, she's also celebrating her 10-year anniversary. And she and her husband, the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, both wished each other happy anniversary today. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of time for a date night tonight, but do they have any other plans to celebrate that you know of?
I'll leave that to them. I think they deserve a little bit of privacy in their relationship, but I think they would enjoy celebrating it like this tonight. And I bet I haven't spoken to the second gentleman, but I can imagine that there is not a better date that he could have planned for his wife than what she's going to receive tonight.
Are we going to hear Harris speak a lot about her opponent? Will we come away from this speech feeling that she has defined him in a new way, in a different way?
Look, I think that what you're going to hear from her and the tidbits that she does mention in reference to her opponent is going to be contrasting with her vision of the future. Because at the end of the day, this race is a fundamental choice between two different visions. One under Vice President Harris's leadership as President of the United States, where we're going to have more freedoms and not less. One where we're going to continue to lower costs. One where we're going to stand up for women. One where we're going to protect people, and one where we're building an economy that everybody has a chance not to just get by, but to get ahead. And on the other side, you have Donald Trump and J.D. Vance with a Stream Project 2025 agenda. And I think that the Vice President is going to make that very clear in her remarks tonight.
We heard that former President Clinton kind of ripped up his remarks and started over after watching some of the speeches here because they were so upbeat and so joyous and fun, and he wanted to try to reflect the moment. Has the Vice President had an experience like that as well, where she saw what was going on here over the first couple of days and said, you know, I kind of want to tweak what I was planning to say to fit the theme?
No. This is her show. But as I mentioned, she is putting some finishing touches on the speech. I know this is something that's really important to her, but she knows exactly what she wants to say to the American people, and that's why she is the best person to represent this party as President of the United States. And so I'm super excited to hear what she has to say.
Well, so are we. Quentin Fulks, thank you so much for joining me from the Harris campaign. I know you've had a busy day and a busy week here at the convention.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Donald Trump could be joined by another presidential candidate tomorrow in Arizona. Coming up, the potential RFK Jr. endorsement and what it could mean for the campaign, for both campaigns, really. You're streaming America Decides. Stick around.
For all those who believe that our best days are ahead of us, with great faith in the American people, I accept your nomination for President of the United States.